Welcome everyone to the 65th edition of Master Mike's Wrestling Paradise. I am your host, Master Mike Ambrose. And boy, when I say 65, well, I've done 65 shows. It's been quite an experience doing all these shows with you, and I hope to do plenty more with you. Let's kick it off with NXT review from Tuesday night. We're continuing to build to Halloween Havoc, and right now it looks like we're headed to a triple threat with Braun Breaker defending NXT title against JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov, who just came to NXT after being in NXT UK, which obviously closed its doors. Or restructured. It's going to be NXT Europe now, so there's not any more NXT UK. It's going to be NXT Europe. And it starts in probably January, the beginning of next year. So anyway, Ilya Dragunov, he showed up. He beat Zion Quinn. I like him. He's got that good style, hard-hitting style, very believable. And I think Braun Breaker works that style real well, along with JD McDonough, of course. And we see that. We also have the another qualifier for the North American title match, the ladder match, joining Carmelo Hayes and Ora Mensah, the former Oliver Carter named Ora Mensah in NXT, and Wesley won his match against Tony D'Angelo, and Tony D'Angelo tweaked his knee. If you watch the match, his right knee came down hard. It was taped earlier, I just heard, so yeah, it looked kind of rough. By the way, NXT's going to be live every week now. Apparently starting next. They look like new sets and stuff like that. We also, with the NXT Women's Championship match, going to be Mandy Rose against Alba Fire. I would not be surprised if Alba Fire wins and talks to traction, because they won't have any titles. Mandy lose and Talk Drag won't win their titles back. They'll all go join SmackDown, and I think SmackDown needs a new influx of some talented people there, and Talk to Traction to do that good, because right now you just got Liv and Ronda, you got they put Raquel Gonzalez, who's coming up, but right now it's just mostly Liv and Ronda. Of course, you have Charlotte that could come back, but I'll be honest, I don't really pay attention to care to watch her as much. Sorry. Not a big fan of Charlotte Flair or even Ronda Rousey, but that's the way that goes. They say it for Becky Lynch against Ronda, but that might come. I'd rather have Mandy Rose win the title. You have a four-way and have Mandy Rose win the title that way against Liv, Ronda, and Charlotte if you want to do it that way. I think that could be a match, a future match by the end of the year. Mandy versus Liv versus Ronda versus Charlotte, and Mandy wins the title. It would be good, because they give them Mandy's had the title this year. They just did a great job with it. I think it's time to move to the main roster and really push to see what she can do there, so that's that. Also, at main event was Briggs and Jensen. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen versus Gallus, and Briggs and Jensen won. It was like a pub brawl, bar style, no holds barred fight. After the match, Briggs and Jensen won, Bridget Jensen won. Gallus attacked the cops and got arrested. Another funny highlight was Chase. One funny highlight was Chase U. They were doing a thing where they had there's Tam. Chase had his press conference there, and because he's at the university speech meeting, and there were his prize students. I forget. I know Bodie Hayward and Thea Hale. They were there. And they're his top two recruits. And they're caught out this reporter named Dave. He goes, Dave, what did I do? It's not that good. It's a shot at Meltzer, which is kind of funny. He goes, was my answer question not for 5 stars? Was that not a 5? He goes, Dave, what kind of question is that? That's not a 5-star question. He was ripping on him, kind of. So that was funny, because we all know how Meltzer is, and if people give it back to him, it's always funny, entertaining. Let's move on to AEW Dynamite. Yeah, I watched it last night, and I skipped around. The highlights for me were the MJF promo, Will Yuta. He just gave it to this guy. And Will Yuta's, MJF's great, obviously, great talent, and, Will Yuta, he tries on the mic, but he doesn't have that thing that, I don't know. They seem to invest. Him, Daniel Garcia, and Sammy Guevara, I don't get why they invest their time in it. They should invest in guys like MJF, Ricky Starks, his Wardlow, even a guy like Jungle Boy, he's rusty, but he looks like he's kind of starting to improve. I don't know, it's just Yuta, Garcia, and Guevara, they just, I don't know. The guy don't have it for me. Speaking of MJF, that was the Bandido. Former Ring of Honor champion, challenged Chris Jericho, who's the new ROH champion, even though it's owned by AEW. Tony Khan owns both AEW and Ring of Honor, so Ring of Honor, he calls it the Ring of Jericho title. Jericho's gonna Where, he's like doing like the anti-rust. His whole gimmick is sports entertainment. Jericho preaches sides. He's like the sports entertainer, and he's like the anti-rust because every Ring of Honor title is always about wrestling. Pro wrestling. They have a Pure title, the ROH Pure title, which almost like has like ground stuff. But like Ring of Honor World title is always like the title, the wrestling title. Inside of wrestling, so he's kind of like the antithesis of that. So he's kind of doing his stick there, and I thought the match was good. That was the only highlight. I like Bandido. Bandido did some cool stuff with the one arm. So he did like the one arm holding for the suplex on Jericho, the C4 off the top rope. It was great stuff. He's a great talent, and you can be that guy's superstar. Because right now, I haven't seen the Lucha Bros. Even though Lucha Bros are like 2/3 of the three trios title with Pac, I haven't seen them the last couple of weeks. It's ridiculous. And FTR. Don't get started FTR. They have all these titles, not the AEW titles, which got the acclaim them. They have every other tag team title, but they can't even get on TV with the company that they're employed by weekly. You wouldn't even know what AEW had to tell unless they show it to you for 2 seconds. You go on Twitter. Here, AEW, this guy. It's like AEW is so... No, the way they portray AEW, you'd think they weren't even a tag employed. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Eventually going to have to get claimed versus FTR at some time. I don't know. Okay, so now for a little lighthearted fun. And you saw on Twitter today, so I'm talking to the audience here on Twitter, on the web here on YouTube and everything in the NLC. There was discussion about discourse on Twitter, who had the better V-trigger, Mandy Rose or Kenny Omega. It all started because Kenny Omega's been using the V-trigger for years, through his whole career. He doesn't use it for his finish, but he uses like a setup move. He goes full bore when the guy just did roll. Boom, boom, boom. And it looks good. Then you got Mandy Rose, who uses a finisher. And they're trying to say, somebody made a remark, is it better? But, it's like telltales out of, they all like to play it back and forth into how that stuff goes. It kind of started as like a rib thing. Joke, So, I kind of made like a poll. And an informal poll, and, I'll put up the thumbnail. When I do this, I'm going to show you the thumbnail. So you can see the results on it when it shows up. I'll put you the results. I'm not going to do the results. I did a poll. Although if you look at... I'll show it to you. But on the thumbnail for this video, when you click on it, you'll see the thumbnail for this. For the poll. Oh, and also, baseball news, Aaron Judge tied Roger Maris with his 64th AL home run record. Tied fellow Yankee Roger Maris for 61 home runs. And, I don't know, he's in Toronto tonight. He might break the record. And, obviously, baseball's such a funny on TV. They're not even going to show the games. I don't know. Sometimes they're on Apple TV. Sometimes they're on network TV. I don't know. So, that's how that, they're not, like, covering it. It would be a big story. Baseball will probably be, like, a big story. A Yankee going for the American League home run record, which is held by a Yankee. That should have been big news on every, in the country. But, it wasn't, because baseball's also out of popularity. Okay, 6:25. It's getting dark now, because it's that fall. It always gets darker. It'll be dark before 7 o'clock. It looks like it's like cloudy out there. It's been like cloudy and getting cool at night. So fall's here. All right. Safe and sound to all my family members and friends down in Florida. In Southwest Florida. I talked to a cousin of mine down there, and they said they drove up to Georgia, so they got out of there. All right. Take care. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.